I've always said this channel is like a greatest hits compilation of creepypasta. It's all stories we've told before that have been passed around on Reddit, 4chan, or No Sleep. Occasionally, though, we get one that starts here and takes off from there. And this happened last week with a story called Murder at the Library sent in by our user, Dear Blood. Let's take a look at the comments and see how it spread across the internet. Alright, so this story was posted to Reddit on July 29th and immediately started doing what most creepypasters do. People started talking about how it reminded them of some old campfire story or ghost story their grandmother used to tell them. Then it picked up steam on Twitter. A few people mentioned it, more people quoted those people, and soon it was trending worldwide. Unfortunately, most of the mentions weren't crediting the original poster. That's where we come in. We re-giving credit where credit is due and posting the full text of the story here in audio form. So let's dive right in. It was night shift at my library. I was working alone, typing away at my desk when I heard the sound of footsteps. The library is an old building made of stone, and it only has one entrance. I knew every noise it made. These footsteps were definitely coming from outside. Startled, I ran to the window and peered out. Whoever was out there seemed to be walking around the building. I dismissed it and went back to work. Footsteps again. I ran back to the window and saw someone standing right below it. I recoiled as I realized just how tall the window was. They couldn't possibly be climbing in through here. But as I watched, they did just that. They managed to heave themselves over the lip of the window and tumble onto the floor on the other side. I didn't know what to do. I could hear them moving around. I could hear books hitting the floor. I pulled up my chair and hid beneath my desk. Wherever they weren't looking for me. After a while, I heard the front door open and close. Sounds of struggle, of furniture being overturned, then silence. In the morning, I told my boss what I'd seen, but she just laughed it off. That building's settling, she said. You're hearing things. Well, I didn't report it because I didn't think anyone would believe me. Besides, what good would it do? Not like the police would find whoever it was. They probably smashed the security camera. We didn't even have any of those back then. The next night I was working alone again. Suddenly the door flew open and I screamed. Standing in front of me was a man covered in blood, dragging a woman behind him by her hair. Her face was pale and drawn, eyes wide with terror. "Don't hurt me," she cried. "Please don't hurt me." The man dragged her toward the window. She turned to me and mouthed the words, "Help me," before he shoved her through the window, and she tumbled down. I stood frozen with fear until the man approached me. His eyes burned into mine. "She betrayed me," he whispered. So I had to make sure she wouldn't betray anyone else. I don't remember what I said. All I remember is that he looked at me for a long moment, then turned and walked away. I never saw either of them again. In the morning, I reported everything to my bosses. They brought in the police. As they searched the building, they found the woman's body in the bushes outside. She'd been stabbed multiple times. The man was nowhere to be found. Neither was anything stolen. But that's not all they found. Behind the desk where I'd been sitting, they discovered a book of poetry. On the inside cover, they found a name, a phone number, and the words "Forever Yours." I still have that book. Sometimes at night I hear a voice whispering to me from beyond the grave. "Help me. Please don't hurt me." I can't escape the dread that grips me whenever I turn the page. The library doesn't exist anymore. They tore it down after the police were done with it. I still live in the town. I still hear her sometimes. I can't help but wonder, will I ever see her face again? Will I ever hear his voice again? Thanks for watching. If you like this story, check out my podcast, where I publish new creepypastas every week. Or check out this other story, where a guy finds a VHS tape in his attic that shows his neighbor getting murdered. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the bedbugs bite. Hey, I'm back. So this story was posted to No Sleep, and the top comment has over 40,000 upvotes. It basically lays out how similar the original poster-esque story is to a creepypasta about a stalker that lurks in a public library and murders those he becomes infatuated with. In the comments section, people are sharing the story across other platforms, specifically Twitter. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you know that we talk about this kind of stuff happening all the time. Creepypastas spreading across the internet from one website to another. It's actually how this channel got its start. But I wanted to bring something to your attention, something different. We have another channel and every single video is automatically uploaded there too. Every single one. You can watch them as they're meant to be viewed. Full screen, uninterrupted. Plus, videos get added throughout the day, so there's always something new to watch. And that brings us to today. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to use a service to respond to this story in real time based on what you guys are saying in the comments section. Basically, I'll read the top comments and give you my thoughts on each one, so let's go. First comment reads, Op, why did you hide instead of calling 911? Honestly, I think the story would have been better if Op did call the police. Maybe they could have stopped the woman from dying. I'm sure there are plenty of possibilities. Opie, just climb out the back window and run to safety. Yeah. Except the story says that OP is hiding underneath their desk. The window is behind their desk. I assume if OP crawled underneath the desk, they'd be able to see the window. But crawling over a desk isn't easy. And we don't know how quickly OP could move once the guy leaves. Also, I'm assuming the window OP is hiding by is one of those big bay windows that you and really crawl out of. Anyway, the story would be much different if OP tried to escape. Let's go to the next one. Why didn't he kill Ope? This is a very good question. I think it comes down to the fact that the man in the story needed someone to confess his love to. He needed someone to share his obsession with. He found that in the woman. Op was just an obstacle to overcome. And speaking of obstacles, let's talk about this one. What if the guy didn't kill the girl? What if the guy killed Op? I honestly don't think so. The story is told from OP's perspective. And the whole point of the story is that OP is hiding and trying not to be found. If the man found OP, the story would have ended very differently. Instead, he leaves. He lets OP live, so he can continue living in the world with the woman he loves. This next one is pretty funny. Op should have pressed 1 for English. I laughed when I read this. Like, what do you mean? How does that stop a crazed murderer? But then I thought, well, maybe the author meant to type 911 instead of 1 for English. You know, like how sometimes you'll misdial a number and it'll connect you to the wrong person. But then I thought, nah, the author probably wouldn't have written that line if that was the case. So, I don't know. Does anyone else think it's strange that the author would write that line? I mean, it seems unnecessary, and that's all I got. If you'd like to leave your own comment, please do so on the main channel. We're going to be doing this regularly now. We're going to look at what you guys are saying and give our thoughts on it, so keep it classy. Don't spam, you know, and just give us some interesting questions or thoughts or whatever you want to say. Okay, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And happy Friday the 13th.